Well, welcome, Mina, to the Second Floor podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, we've been chatting for, a couple weeks now, and I'm excited to have you on. And I want to kind of get started with your story and kind of how you got into your career, because it's very, very interesting, and kind of take us back to kind of where it all started.
Well, I was in university and I was doing side jobs just in retail, just to pay the just little bills, and then retail kind of took over, and who knew it was going to end up being my career. From something that was just a part-time job to managing some stores, and then next thing you know, I was recruited by Holt Renfrew and asked to join, and I joined, and I was in management for a bit, and then I went straight into personal shopping. The opportunity arose, and they asked me if I wanted to pursue that, because I just developed a clientele based, and it just kind of developed from there. Like it just you don't plan it, it's just organic. It just happened. And the next thing you know, I decided, okay, well, let's take that leap of faith and do personal shopping and see where that goes. And I had a fantastic general manager, and he said, try it out. If you don't like it, you can always go back. And it was something new for Edmonton as well. And that takes us back, but I've been with the company now had been with the company for over 23 years.
Wow.
And it just went very successful. Got to travel quite a bit, develop more clients. A lot of the clients turned out to be great friends. And then they passed me on to their friends and their kids, and it's just kind of catapulted, like a small little family branched out.
Yeah. So what were you planning to go into, like, before this opportunity arose? Well,
I went to university to be a elementary school teacher with a degree in psychology, childhood education. And I remember my last practicum, it was in a grade 1 class, and I went in and I thought, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't feel it like I did when I was years ago. I just didn't feel, and then all of a sudden it was just, no, I think I'm going to stay in retail. And and I didn't expect to stay for long. I was like, okay, another year. And everybody always asks you, when are you going to get a real job? Because nobody really thinks of retail as a job.
Yeah.
It's just a side thing.
Yeah.
Right? For sure. And then next thing you know, 1 year came 2 years, 3, 5, 10, 15. And here we go.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So
it's been exciting.
With the, I'm curious, because with the personal, personal shopping, right?
Yeah.
No, like, I don't know anybody who's actually in it other than yourself.
Yeah.
So when you got into it, did you start to develop like a passion to help your clients? Obviously, I know from just personal experience that sometimes, you try something new and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, I didn't think I'd like this.
Yeah.
And you get into it and then it's like, whoa, 5 years has passed and I'm still doing it. Is that kind of how it went with the personal shopping and in your career? Was it like, yeah, you don't really know what's behind this door, but let's try it out. Let's see how it is. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is nice.
Yeah. Well, it is, because it was offered to me because I think they felt like I had a good clientele base. I knew how to develop my clients. I was business driven. I was proactive, just a business person. A small business inside a bigger business. So it was up to you to make this business grow. And then I just kind of went in, and it just was organic, because it was just, you had your clients, you call them up, you tell them what they need, or you show them some new stuff. It just kind of rolled one thing to the other, and it just happened. Mm-hmm. And I think, when you're good at something, or if you have a passion for it, it just comes natural. Mm-hmm. And my goodness, I didn't think that personal shopping would be my career.
Yeah.
My life career.
Yeah.
But I met a lot of people. I went to a lot of great places. saw the world, and very fortunate, very grateful for everything.
Yeah.
And now it's like no longer with Holt Renfrew. They had closed their door in Edmonton, and branching out and doing my own thing and expanded personal shopping into almost like a concierge service. Besides doing styling for clients, I'm also going to their home, doing some home decor stuff as well. And then from there, going to do walking with a client this morning.
Yeah.
We were walking the river valley because now with COVID, it gives them that opportunity to go outside instead of staying home all the time. And I'm very fluent with the river valley, so we do a lot of walking or what else? Styling. And I have lots of contracts with very high-end luxury vendors, or it doesn't have to be them. It could be anything in the mall, even West Ed, Southgate, whatever. And personal shopping on a different level. I'll come out to their home. We can meet. It's really open. It's just, I can't believe this is my job because it doesn't seem like a job because I actually truly enjoy doing it.
Yes.
And it's just like this morning, I was walking with a client, and I enjoy walking when the weather is so beautiful. And I do it.
Yeah.
But it was a booked client appointment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's just like, wow, pinch me.
Yeah, that's very cool. I think, you talked a little bit about, kind of staying, at your retail job, and you're like another year. When did it get to a point where you were like, you know what, this is probably what I'm going to be doing? Or maybe it wasn't like that. Maybe you're like, I enjoy this. There's no reason for me to leave. There's no reason for me to look anywhere else. This is kind of where I'm at. Was there a point in that journey where did you feel any pressure from friends or family who are, maybe potentially telling you like, like you said, get a real job. Why are you still here? Like you should pursue something else. Was there a point where you were doubting kind of where you were headed?
No one really. I had lots of support, lots of encouragement, and clients too. Like a lot of them over the years that you develop, they're like, please don't go anywhere else. Like, I don't know what I would do without you. I go, oh, you'll survive. But that's nice of you to say. But lots of family and lots of support all around. So that's great. But I, myself would probably be the worst person to doubt yourself, right? It was like, oh, how long can I be doing this? Is this really a real job? Yeah. It's like, it's paying the bills and all that. But it just, I just wake up every day, one foot, left foot out, right foot, and just keep on walking and doing it. And it's just, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If, I'm curious, in your space, if somebody wanted to get into your space.
Yeah.
Is that something, is there a path for that, or is there, because I'm curious, is it kind of, you start your own business, kind of do your own thing? I know for you had the opportunity come up, but is there even like, for me personally, I don't know, is there really like a market for this? Like, is it really something that, or is it very niche? Like it's very, there's only a certain amount of people here that require your services. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Like, if somebody wanted to get into it, how would they get into it? I
think if somebody really wanted to get into it, I think now I believe Grant McEwen, not sure who else, they do offer courses.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Like interior decorating, or if you're going to go into personal shopping, you have to take a business course. You have to know how to run your business. And I know I've seen some websites that offer personal shopping. Yeah. And with all their educational background. But somehow I just feel like, it's really, you're either you know how to do it or you don't know how to do it. You know how to dress people. You know how to talk to people. You know how to dictate yourself in this environment. So I think you just kind of fall into it. And if you're already in retail and if you have a good clientele base, just keep working at it and building it up. And then you have that resume. behind you to eventually maybe step out there, take that leap of faith and start your own business
Right.
eventually.
Yeah.
But I just think, anybody could do it. And there's definitely that market in Edmonton. We're quite there. There's tons of people in Edmonton
Yeah.
that can afford it and wants it. But everybody's very discreet. Everybody's very low key. They're not so in your face. It's just very private. And it's good. It was like that when I was at Holt Renfrew, and I developed those clients from there. And now some of them, actually I wasn't even going to go into this at all. COVID hit, the store shut down. Then I decided, okay, gives me time to exhale and decide what's the next step. And a few people reached out to me during COVID and said, oh, I need your service to do this. Well, not really doing it anymore, but I'll help you. And then he said, well, why don't you help me and get paid for it? And why you stop doing what you're doing because you're good at it?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I guess I could.
Yeah.
Why not? And then someone else reached out to me and said, you know what? I'm going to hook you up with, say, Bottega Veneta. I'll hook you up with certain vendors that I know of. And you've been in that industry for so long that it won't be so hard for you. You got your foot in the door already. And then just from there, it was just friends and clients from my life that kind of pushed me forward to do it.
Yeah, that's very interesting how things kind of work like that.
Yeah,
Right?
I love it when it happens like that because it's like I keep saying that word organic, but it's it's so organic that things happen for a reason. And a year ago today, I wouldn't be thinking that I'd be sitting here with you, talking about this.
Yeah.
And now I am, and I have a website, Instagram page, podcasts.
Yeah.
And hopefully soon we'll set up a storefront.
Wow.
As well.
Yeah.
And just baby steps for everything. Everything happens for a reason at the right time.
For sure. What I get the sense of is you like, it sounds, Mina, that you're very, independent, and you kind of, from what I'm getting is you bet on yourself.
Yeah.
More so than not. So
you have to, and you have to stay positive.
Yeah.
Right? It's during COVID, and you meet so many people, and most of them are Debbie Downers. And they're so depressed about, because that's all you hear in the news all the time is unemployment, and the cases are going up. But no one ever talks about the other side of it, the positive side. Because I think positive news doesn't sell.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I can give you like a handful of stories of people that I've talked to that their business is doing better, or they're reinventing themselves like I am, and you make the best of it, and you just wake up and you just do it, and you just keep don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
And if it's if it's not this person, it's going to be somebody else. Yeah. If it's not this opportunity, it will be another opportunity. You just have to look for the door.
Yeah.
And there's going to be doors in your way, and you just have to keep opening them. You don't like that door, shut it, go to another door.
Yeah.
And
I'm curious because what were maybe some initial struggles that you kind of went through as you were as you were whether it was with your work or personally during COVID, were there any personal struggles that you were going through, or with the business that you could share with us?
Well, during COVID, I guess, when did it, like last February, March, so a little over a year ago, everybody was just so new to the whole shutdown and what to do, what not to do, and didn't know what to do. I just didn't even think of it. Like, honestly, it never even crossed my mind. It did not cross my mind until maybe September or so. And the new season starting, and you just look at everything different. Like before with work, I would look at a magazine, and you would have to look at it in a business perspective, because this is what you're selling 8 months down the road, a year down the road. But now that I wasn't in the industry during COVID, you look at a magazine differently. You look at different posts differently. Everybody's doing something different. So it gave me a lot of time to think about what's the next step. What am I going to do? So everything was just planned. You know, it's like a seed. It was a seed. And now I'm hoping it's going to thrive. Plant the right seed in the right environment.
Yeah.
Water it, love it, and let it grow.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just kind of developed. It just happened.
Yeah.
I really don't have.
Yeah.
I didn't think like back then. I was say, okay, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna be a personal shopper. I'm gonna expand out to do some concierge and lifestyle coaching, things like that. I just didn't even think of it. Like it wasn't even in my repertoire. I was just not there. And then it just, you know, the right people comes into your life at a certain time, and they kind of put these little thoughts in your head, like, you know, do it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it.
Yeah. How have you kind of felt in terms of, you know, are there any, you know, and again, you don't have to mention names, but are there any unique client stories that you have, or any stories over the past, you know, while that, you know, are interesting, or, you know, because I'm curious, because I don't really know that world, and I'm sure our audience doesn't really know that world. So maybe are there any stories that you know, or one or two stories that you could share that maybe stand out? It could be a struggle, it could be something positive, it could be something that happened that's, you know, super unique or something like that, or maybe in your travels, because you've traveled lots. Is there anything that kind of stands out?
Boy, I'm just thinking I have so many stories. I could really write a book. But, you know, it's all positive. Some of the great ones is I had a client that wanted something really, really unique, very unique, and that it would have to be custom made for her. So we booked an appointment with a major vendor out of Paris, but they had a warehouse in New York. So they had given her the opportunity to fly to Paris and get something made in haute couture. So when you're dealing with that price range, it's like above 100,000.
Wow.
So you really have to be committed
to
something like that. So that was a really unique opportunity to be flying with them to Paris and visiting an haute couture house, because everything is hand done. You have a stylist, you have tailors, like craftsmen that stitched on these flowers, and you're like behind the scene, and something is made custom for that person.
Wow.
So that was a great experience there. And other times I traveled with other clients. They developed to be friends. So we would possibly go on their private jet and make a golf game out of it too, and going to their place outside of Edmonton and doing some home decorating, giving some just little advice here and there. And it's I don't know, it's like personal shopping, but it's a lifestyle. It's just a whole mixture of different things. And then I have some great clients that just, back in the days, that would just come in and visit and bring treats and champagne, and we'll try and close and make wardrobes, or go out to another client's house and just clean out her closet and just plan her business trip from one to the next, set out all three luggage. Okay, you come home, drop one, pick up this one, it's ready to go. Pick up another one, it's ready to go. So everything's already set out for them.
Wow.
And then another client came back from, I can't remember where they were, but they were coming back, and it says, oh, can you come over to the house and just make it ready? Because you have to gain that trust to be able to go into someone's home. Because you're going into their private space.
Yes.
Right? And go in there and just set it up. Mm-hmm. Have the right flowers set up. maybe have a bottle of champagne ready for when they come home. Just have everything ready so that they're walking in, they don't have to start fresh. Oh, let me, get someone in to clean the place or things. Just have it set up for them.
I'm curious now, do you have, do these clients tell you exactly what they want, or do you kind of just, when you come in and you see kind of what their lifestyle is like, you're able to kind of anticipate, maybe bringing a bottle of champagne, maybe bringing, XYZ treats or whatever the case to make them, to give them that service that's kind of maybe above and beyond.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how you kind of navigate in your space, or are there clients that are just like, Mina, this is exactly what I want, here it is, go do it? Or do you have like the authority and like, do you kind of like say, okay, I know so-and-so is doing this and so-and-so is doing that, okay, I'm gonna make sure I get this, like, how do you kind of navigate that space?
They're all like that. They're either very strict, very regiment in their lifestyle, or other ones who are like, what I like, just do it, make it happen.
Yes.
And so you have to have confidence in yourself that, you're going in, and if you have to respect the client's wishes too. If a client tells you, this is all I want, ... and you think of something else, then, I would throw it at them. I go, what about if we did this? What about this? They're like, okay, do that. And other ones are just like, you have carte blanche. Just do it. And then you just do it. So I have an eclectic group of clients, and I'm very grateful for all of them because they're all so different. And I somehow probably taking psychology in university helped me deal with all different types of personality.
Yeah.
Because it starts off with being when you were a child, and then treating everybody differently but the same.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I'm curious, how do you manage their schedules? Because I'm sure you deal with different types of people. How do you kind of work? Again, you told us before, like, it doesn't seem like work. So what, with all these different schedules, how do you manage your time with them? It
just works out. You just have to be very efficient.
Are you very organized?
I'm organized.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very organized. I have a calendar. Very old fashioned. I have Post-its.
Yeah.
And I just kind of go through and look at the calendar and just like, okay, this person needs this at a certain time. And so everything is, okay, Monday is dedicated to this and time frame, how long it's going to take me to do this. So I'm proactive to get things done, because by the time you react, it's almost too late.
Right.
And I
probably
found that,
have to be more proactive.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So if they tell me, and some clients give me lots of time, lots of notice. Could be a week, 2 weeks, few months if they know their schedule, but others could just tell me within the day or within hours. So we just have to kind of make it work.
Right.
And that's when all the connection pulls in. Like if you know the right florist, and if you have connections with this restaurant, or you have a connection with the stylist or a hair and makeup person, you're texting everybody, okay, I need this done at a certain time. Let's make this work. So it's building that family, building that connection.
Yeah. So how do you build that connection with other business owners and things that, you need for your clients? Like, do you obviously over the years now you've probably built some great connects, but when you started, how did you go about making those connections?
Thinking back that long, just going to visit their shops, going to visit them, the business owners, and just seeing what they're offering and talking to them and just connecting, like just getting to know people.
Yeah, just like old fashioned.
Yeah, just old fashioned. Yeah, exactly. Like not calling them to say I am so and so. It's like not like that. I'm a people person. I need to go in. I need to look at you. Yeah. We need to talk and be real, and whatever comes from that. And I'll say, this is what I do. And if I have anyone that needs your service, I'll give you a call. And then if someone comes up and says to me, oh, I need flowers done. or I need a caterer to do this and this last minute. So I go and look for it and connect with them.
Yeah.
And it just kind of builds, like, you get to know people. And some of those people in other businesses, they end up being clients as well.
Right.
And so I have clients and connections from developers, restaurateurs, stylists, facialists, personal trainers, you name it.
Right.
Dealerships, auto body shops, wholesale, retail, just everything.
Yeah.
And in Edmonton, also based in Toronto, and some based in New York, some based in Europe. So it's just all those years of traveling, connecting with people, and keeping in touch, like always keeping in touch.
Yes.
Like every day, every week, every month, it's always sending out a, hi, how are you doing? What's happening in your world right now? Like, what are you up to? And
Follow-ups then.
Follow-up.
Yeah.
So it's fresh in your head.
Yes.
And then they're like, okay, so Mina does this, and she also does that. So I'll connect this person with her. It's funny. I had a lady reach out to me from Nicaragua.
Wow.
2 weeks ago. And she's a retired dentist.
Wow. Very
So we started talking, and she was based out of Calgary. And so we talked and connected that way. And she says, okay, how can we expand your business, expand my business? I said, well, let's migrate, let's marinate on this thought, and let's see. So that's something that I'm working on right now too.
Yeah.
Is how do I expand this business? She's in South America. I'm in Canada. How are we going to do this? We're not sure yet, but something's going to come up.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, it's crazy how, like you said, like just connections like that and kind of, you planting the seed and following up, those things have such a tremendous effect down the road and can help. And I can attest to that even in my business of just knowing people and just catching up with them, that I think that's, like you said, the old fashioned way, more so than social media has helped my business as well. So I totally agree with you on that front.
Well, it's just like how we met is through our friend Raj.
Yes.
And he's my physiotherapist, and he's great, by the way, if anybody needs one.
Shout out to Raj.
But, we started talking, and he says, if you're ever thinking about doing a podcast, let me know. And he kind of threw this idea at me over a year ago. And at that time I said, I don't know what I'm doing, so not going there yet. And he says, okay, well, just think about it.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm thinking, okay, I'm starting up again. Why not? I think I'm ready. And he's like, great, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, no, he's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
I think, speaking about connections and all these are, I think these are like practical skills that, are very simple, but they're very powerful. And I think, our audience is kind of, majority of our audience is kind of in their mid 20s, early 20s. Yeah. So Mina, do you have any advice for, young women or young men who are, trying to, maybe start a business, or they're trying to find a career path, they don't know what they're doing, and maybe they want to get into this type of business, maybe potentially, or what advice would you give, our audience?
I hear it a lot, but it's so true until you go through it yourself, that you realize, listen to yourself, listen to your intuition, and do what you love. And don't hang around negative people. And you have to stay positive. And if you really love what you do, you're going to make it work. There's going to be downfalls. There's going to be times that, it's just like, oh my God, how am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay for rent? How am I going to pay for this and this? Like, everybody has to deal with that. But you almost have to, you really do have to take it one day at a time. And it will happen. It will happen. It may not happen the way you plan it to happen, but it will happen when the universe decides it's going to happen. And have patience. And that's the main thing. I just find, who would have thought I'm still doing what I love and doing it now, branching out to doing this, but I had to have patience. I went through the growing pains, the stress, the finance or whatever, and it's just, you just do it and you have to be yourself. You really do have to be yourself, and if you really love what you do, you'll find a way to do it. But you may not find a way, like you're sitting there thinking, okay, she said that I should do what I want, so I'm going to do it right now. It's like, it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
You got to plant the seed and you got to have your connection. And if you don't have the right connection, then think about how you're going to get your connections and bring the right people into your life. And if there's people in your life that is not motivating you, and if they're not encouraging you, those people need to not be in your life because they're not helping you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, that's fantastic advice. And, if somebody isn't, very, business oriented, I know you seem very business oriented and you're, kind of a go-getter, if you will, right? Yeah. How does someone, I guess, young woman, young man, how does someone learn those traits? Because I'll be honest, even personally, I never had a business background.
Yeah.
I had a science background, and now I'm running my own business as well. From your perspective, Mina, how does someone go about something like this where, you love what you do, but you have no business acumen or no business sense? How do you get through that? What do you do? Or is there anything there that you can give us?
Well, you know what? I didn't come from a business background either. I just kind of fell into it. I just think you either have it or you don't. And you have to have that drive. You have to have that passion in you in wanting to do it and making it happen. And talking to the right people. And if you think, say, for example, right now, if I need to set up a storefront, that's something new for me. But I know people that are in that industry, so I'll have just to, you have to take that step and you have to make it happen for yourself. You have to talk to them, find out the pros and cons and see how that's going to work in your life right now. Will that work? Will it not work? How are you going to finance yourself? It's just connecting with people. Yeah. It's really, like you said, it's very ABC. It's like getting back to the basic and reaching out and talking to people.
Yeah.
Not texting and...
Yeah, that's very unique because...
Very impersonal.
Yeah, especially nowadays, it's very unique because the fact that we do have social media and the fact that we do have these platforms and the technology and stuff. So it's almost the in-person, and then, obviously with COVID, like connecting with people has just become a little bit more harder.
Yeah. But I think COVID kind of makes you think harder too, right? Yes. You're thinking outside the box. It makes you think outside of the box think, how am I going to get to that person? Like doing a podcast. Who would have thought? Mm-hmm. How am I going to get this? Things will happen. I truly, truly believe things will happen when they need to happen, and everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm. So would you say the most important thing in terms of like a skill set is, connection?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to go to school for it. I went to school for something totally different, and look what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. But I think because I went to school and because I was looking for a part-time job in retail when I was in university, because of all that, somebody came into... I used to manage Gap Kids downtown.
Okay.
So somebody came into the store looking for a service for their kids, and I helped them with that, and I kind of did personal shopping on top of that. It was like, okay, I have something for your daughter, kept their number. It's not something that Gap does. Like Gap, you just go in, you buy, and you leave. But this, for me, was like, oh, so-and-so, I know she would love this. I know your daughter would love this. So she came back and she bought, And she bought again. She says, you know what? I wouldn't have bought so many hundreds of dollars at the Gap throughout the months if you didn't call to tell me that you had this for me. So with that in mind, if you ever want to move on in retail, let me know. I have a position for you.
Wow. Yeah.
And that kind of led me to Holt Renfrew. I called her up one day, goes, okay, I don't think I want to teach anymore. I think maybe I want to expand my career in retail. And she says, perfect. So I got my foot in the door.
Wow.
From there.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's definitely connections, definitely how you talk to people. And you got to treat people with respect. Like, you just don't know. You just don't know. I have some clients, some of them millionaires, billionaires, come in T-shirt and sweatpants. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know at all. So, you just remember, like, everybody's the same. Everybody came into this earth the same way. Everybody's going to leave the same way.
Yeah.
So in between, you just have to respect each other and treat each other with dignity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm curious, how do you balance your like personal life with the business? Because obviously, you're running around doing, your business. And I know just from running my own business that how much time it takes and effort and drive and push, and it's constantly on your mind.
Yeah.
How do you balance your personal life with your business?
That's a good question. By now, it's not that I found the answer to it, but it's prioritizing and being very organized. And know that, okay, if I can, I'm doing this for me, but I have appointments here. But just kind of I have to almost blend the two together.
Right.
And sometimes personal is business. And business is personal. Mm-hmm. And depending on who it is, too.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture.
Right.
I don't know if I can really separate them so much. Mm-hmm. Because I found like my business is my personal.
Yeah, it's you, right?
Yeah, it's me. So I can't really say it's just shut off right here. The only time I will shut off is going to bed.
Right. Right.
And then you wake up. It's just like this morning, a client booked me for a walk in the River Valley. 7 o'clock, 7:30, we're out the door. And that would be a personal thing because I love to walk.
Yeah.
But there's somebody that wants to walk and use my service. Yes. And enjoys my company.
Yeah.
And then from there, that led to, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to need someone to help me do my condo. And I'm planning on having a dinner party in July. If everything lines up, would you be able to help me do that? So, it's like she booked me for a walk.
Yes.
From seeing my website. And who knew it would lead to helping her later on plan a party, help her decorate her condo, being her stylist at the same time too. Yeah. So it's just that's kind of personal and business all tied in together. And I think this, then you get a good feel for a person if they want you in their world or not. Yeah. Because that's the break that, there's certain people that are clients and certain people that are clients and friends.
Right.
And I never want to cross that line until they take the initiative.
Right.
Because that could be really bad.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because your business is you.
Yeah.
And with you comes your personality.
Yes.
and your character and everything like that. So I can see how that can be there's a very fine line between your personal life and business. Yeah. And then on top of that, how do you like you said, you'll probably just kind of let the client allow you to be, more and more ingrained in their life, depending on.
Yeah, I let them guide me.
Yes.
To a point, and then from there, it's like, okay, I'm not sure if you need this or you need that. We just kind of dissect the situation when it comes up.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. Like you said, I don't know if there's many businesses like this
Yes.
in a way, but it's just something I fell into.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I did. And I've met a ton of valuable people. It's just great human beings out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's a very unique, business, and I think a lot of people can kind of gain value from kind of your perspective and your
Yeah.
story. In terms of like, do you see yourself having more international clients?
Yes.
Yeah, is that kind of something that you want to do?
I want to expand it because I just think, think of the big picture. I don't want this just to be here.
Right.
Eventually to be global.
Right.
And whatever global is, but I have a big picture in my head of this business expanding. However it happens, it will happen. I just don't know how
Yeah.
it will happen yet, but
Yeah.
baby steps. But I do have a big picture for it, like to be global, to be maybe home is Edmonton, but maybe there's going to be sometimes I'll be in Europe or wherever.
Yeah, I'm guessing you would have other people with you
Yeah.
that would obviously,
And I
cater
think-
to your clients.
Yeah,
Right?
eventually, you're going to have to expand and you're going to have to develop your empire.
Yeah.
And I want an empire.
Yeah. It's very cool. It's a very cool, business. And when Raj brought it up to me to
Yeah.
connect with you, it's such an unfamiliar space for me.
Yeah.
But it's such a unique space, and it's such a unique, sort, especially you come, from Edmonton,
Yeah.
doing your thing in Edmonton, and now, wanting to expand and it's very, very cool.
Yeah, and I think it will happen. I feel it. I think you manifest it, and it will happen. And you really have to believe in your dreams and have patience,
Yeah.
because I have to learn patience. I'm not a very patient person,
Yeah.
but I have to learn patience, and things will happen when you least expect it.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
So it'll happen.
No, and our, we from on the second floor, we wish you all the best, and we
Yeah.
hope to, when, down the road when you have, that business, would love to have you back on again and talk about that.
Well, I'll invite you to the open house and whatever
Absolutely.
else
Yeah.
that comes up.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be fantastic. Mina, one last thing I want to ask you, and this is something that we ask all of our guests, is what does it take to be on the second floor? Now, what we mean by that is the second floor is all about kind of elevating and taking your business, your life, your health to the next level.
yeah.
And a lot of our guests are either thriving, or they're surviving, or they're in whatever industry they're in, they're usually on the path of greatness and doing big things and making an impact, whatever shape or form that is. So for you, what does that mean? What does that mean to get to the next level? What does that mean to get to the second floor?
I think it's a privilege. I think it's definitely something that I'm very grateful for, and I'm grateful every day for that I had the opportunity to come here and to meet you and to do this interview in a very comfortable setting. And hopefully this will reach someone that is watching and needs that extra inspiration, or that needs help, or something, that will reach out to you or reach out to me and expand our business, our global empire,
Yes.
like reaching out and helping more people. So I just think I'm very grateful to be here. And I thank you for that. And I thank Raj for reaching out to you to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And I think, it's everybody can be here. Everybody can be sitting right here talking to you, but they just have to take that step to get there.
I love that. Mina, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you, if they want to message you, if they want to do business with you, or if they just want to talk to you? Where can people find you?
I have a website, minalee.ca, and everything is on there, and you can reach out by email, or my phone number is on there as well. And I have an Instagram page as well, Mina Style by Design. reach out to me there as well. You can connect with me by phone, by text, however, whatever you're comfortable with, I'll respond.
That's fantastic. Well, we'll also have those links in our bio, and all of Mina's info will be on there. So if you guys want to check her out, make sure to check her out. So, well, Mina, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on to the second floor. And, when, down the road, we'll hope to have you back on sometime. So